Are you tired of your dog going nuts every time he sees people? Do you just want him to be calm and greet people politely? In this video, we're going to go over one method that you can use to help tame your rambunctious and friendly pup and help him learn how to be a calm greeter. I'm Chelsea with Positive Futures Dog Training and Behavior. If you're new to this channel, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. To get started, you will need to set up a suitable learning environment with enough space for the greeter, where the person saying hello to your dog can both approach and retreat throughout the exercise. You will also need some form of management, like an X-pen, baby gate, or leash tether to prevent your dog from being able to immediately rehearse the undesirable behavior of jumping up or mouthing on your guest. Ask your guest to stand at a distance and ignore your dog. Instead of asking my dog to do something, I wait for the dog to make good choices all on their own. I mark and treat any behavior that is more desirable than what we've had before, which is jumping up, vocalizing, and mouthing. So I reward behaviors like quiet, stand, sit, and down. As the dog is able to maintain the desired position, here it's a down. Then I can slowly ask my guest to move towards the dog one small step at a time. As my guest approaches, I continue to reinforce the calm behavior with a high rate of reinforcement. Here you can see that Bachelor even offers his tummy for some pets. Since this is a much more desirable behavior than jumping up for attention and mouthing, we allow this behavior and reinforce it, so that with over time, this will be his new default behavior instead of jumping and biting. Once my guest is finally able to reach my dog and pet, I request that they keep the pets very short in duration. I continue to reinforce the dog for 4 on the floor and for not mouthing while the guest is petting. And then my guest will back up, back to the starting place where we start the whole process over again. Each time your dog practices this, whether it's with the same guest or a new one, the exercise will get easier for your dog to do. Here you could see that Bachelor offered the down much faster and all on his own, and my guest is able to approach the dog quicker than they could the first time. During this process, if your dog gets too excited and wants to stand up, jump, or mouth, ask your guest to take a step backwards. The closer your guest is to the dog, the harder it is for your dog to contain their impulses. With your guest a little further away, it'll be easier for your dog to make a good choice that you can reinforce, where you guys can then start the process over again. Be patient with your dogs through this process. Learning how to control their impulses and excitement is hard, and it takes a lot of practice. Here you can see that I don't say anything to Bachelor as he tries different behaviors. I wait for him to make a good choice, like connecting with me, offering a sit or a down, and then I begin reinforcing again. This way, we're creating a dog who learns how to make good choices all on their own without me having to constantly micromanage them. You can see that Bachelor quickly gets himself back on track and even flips back over onto his back to reveal his tummy for some pets. In the beginning phases, especially with an excitable dog, you want your guest to move slowly, have little animation, and remain quiet during this process. This will help your dog make good decisions and will help you get the most progress quickly. As this gets easier for your dog, you'll notice that your guest can approach with a little more speed. Or your guest might be able to pet your dog for longer periods of time while your dog still makes good choices. As this process becomes easier for your dog, you can then guide your guest to increase their animation just a little. So now as they approach your dog, they could offer some verbal encouragement like, "Hey buddy," or "What a pretty dog." As you do this, keep a close eye on your dog's excitement level. For some dogs, like easily excitable Bachelor here, this little piece of engagement is enough to send him flying back up off the ground, and my guest needs to be ready to back up again. But you can see here that my guest is very quick to follow directions, and Bachelor is quick to settle, which I can then reinforce that good choice. You can see that this will be a long road for teenager Bachelor. But you can also see how much progress he made quickly. So each opportunity we have, we will practice. We will use management to prevent the rehearsal of the jumping and mouthing, and lots of food reinforcement to reward all of the good choices that he makes in training sessions. And pretty soon, he'll be able to greet people politely and calmly. In the meantime, I'll be strict about what interactions he can have, making sure that each person he greets, he's learning the right kinds of things. If your dog struggles with impulse control like greeting politely, be sure to check out our playlist made just for you. Our playlist, Let's Get Control, is full of exercises that will help dogs learn how to make better choices so that you can ditch the frustration and have that well-mannered dog that you want.